Hi guys, my name is Tips and welcome to the Fight IQ channel. This is my very first video and I couldn't be more thrilled to share it with you all. I'm an MMA and kickboxing fighter and also a dedicated fan of the fighting world. So in this video I will be talking about the top 5 fights that I watched last weekend and will tell you why you guys should watch it as well. So I base my opinion on a few criteria: excitement, duration of the fight, position level and way to finish the fight. So after that I will be leading you guys to the top 5 fights to watch during the next weekend. Make your life easier and save you some time. So without any more delays, let's jump right into the video. So number 5, that would be Morgan Charrière against Silva, which happened at the Cage Warriors in London last weekend. I recommend to watch this fight first of all because Morgan Charrière is a French fighter. I'm French as well. Also, Morgan Charrière delivered a complete domination during that fight from round 1 to the finish. If you're a beginner in the world of fighting, I recommend to watch this fight. It's a really good entry point. Also, if you like good MMA fights, I recommend it as well because the striking from Charrière was sharp. He kept a really good composure, really technical. He was really successful with the leg kicks as well. He could have finished the fights way earlier than he did. Nonetheless, great fight. Number 4, Barres against Filho, which was the opening fight of UFC London. I decided to put that fight also in my top 5 because even if it was short, Filho got the submission victory in the first round. It was a really good fight, really technical from Barres when he started, really good striking. I was really excited from that fight from the beginning. I was surprised by the result because I really thought that Barres would finish with his striking, but Filho let the storm pass, then he get the submission win. It's definitely a fight that was enjoyable to watch. Number 3, Duncan against Ashmouz. Also a fight from the UFC London. Great fight from Duncan. Finished victory by decision, but he dominated the fight. First round was a bit of an observation round. Both guys were testing things. By the middle from the first round, you could see already that Duncan was getting more and more successful with the striking, setting things up. Good combination, good uses of the reach as well. You could also see that Ashmouz busted his arm on a kick he received, so after that you could see that he was not using that arm anymore, but that takes nothing from the performance of Duncan. That was for me one of the best fights of the weekend as well. After that, number 2, Craig versus Muniz was a really expected fight from a lot of specialists from the MMA world. Both are really good on the ground, really great jiu-jitsu artists. Craig was a former light heavyweight, he just entered in the middleweight, but I guess with the performance he delivered. So what happened is that it started as a striking match, which is kind of odd because both are crazy good jiu-jitsu artists, where Muniz was getting the advantage. And as soon as things got on the ground, everybody wanted to see that. We could see that Paul Craig was getting the domination from there. His jiu-jitsu was crazy good. Like, if you are a beginner in jiu-jitsu and you want to learn some techniques, definitely watch that fight. That was amazing what he did on the ground. Then the best fight of the weekend for me, again, that was hard to choose, but I would say Nathaniel Wood against Andre Fili, the best fight of the weekend. Also part of that same card, UFC London. Nathaniel Wood was at home. He's a British fighter, really tough prospect as well. Against Andre Fili, it's like a gatekeeper. You put him to test new challengers that are coming. What happened is that there was crazy action from the start, from both sides, changing shots, really strong shots. Both could have finished the fights. Fili was in position to finish the fight. He knocked Nathaniel Wood really bad, was rocked. But then Nathaniel Wood was also, as a tough chin, he let the storm pass as well, and he could also knock out Andre Fili. The decision was kind of logical to me. I think Nathaniel Wood won the fight, but it was crazy close, really hard fight, really exciting fights. Some fight like this you watch MMA for. Go watch it. Again, it's on Fight Pass or whatever provider you have. As there was a lot of really good fights in the last weekend, all could not be in my top 5 obviously. I would still like to mention some memorable fights. For example, Tom Aspinall, that came back from a really bad injury, torn ACL on the knee. He made his return, really expected return as well, because he's one of the top prospects in the heavyweight division. What happened is that he made quick work from Marcin Tybura, which is also a good heavyweight, but of course not as good as Tom Aspinall. So it was a really quick fight, I think 1 minute 31 seconds, something like this, where Aspinall really displayed all his quality, all his skill set. Not part of my top 5 because too short to judge. Another mention would be Marc Diakiese against Joel Alvarez. A good fight until Alvarez head bump Marc Diakiese. Of course, it was not voluntarily, but it damaged the fight. The fight was given to Joel Alvarez because after that he submitted Marc Diakiese, but it should have been a no contest because Diakiese was in no condition to keep fighting normally after that headbutt. Third mention would be Molly Meatball McCann that lost a fight. That was quite a big upset because of course she was fighting at home in the O2 Arena of London and she got subbed by Julia Stoliarenko with a nasty armbar. I guess there is also some injury linked to it because it was pretty bad and that was quite the upset as everybody wanted Molly to win. Fourth mention would be Fares Ziam, another French fighter, that got the win in a really technical fight, a lot of striking. I wouldn't put it in my top 5 as there was a lot of wrestling, but unsuccessful wrestling because both were strikers. So not part of my top 5 even if there is a lot of striking action that was really fun to watch. Other one would be Daniel Marcos, which is a new prospect. He just came in the UFC. He was undefeated before that fight against Davy Grant. He fought Davy Grant, which is also kind of a gatekeeper. He's in the game for a long time, a lot of experience, and the fight was quite good. Not, again, good enough to be in my top 5 in my opinion, but also entertaining to watch. Daniel Marcos got the win. I think, it's nice prospect to follow. Last addition, because today, at the moment filming this video, today was a fight against Naoya Inoue and Stephen Fulton in boxing. Inoue got the win against Fulton, which was the champion until now, in a spectacular fashion. Really technical fight again, amazing use of the reach of the jabs. So if you're not used to watch boxing, this is a perfect entry point for you guys. That's all you ask from a boxing match. And guys, coming next weekend are also a few interesting fights. In order to make your task easier, I would like to highlight 5 of those fights. Number 5 would be Thompson against Pereira, which will be at the UFC 291 this weekend. Thompson and Pereira are both really exciting fighters regarding the striking, so I guess it will be a striking match and not a lot of grappling to be expected. Crazy fight, I think. Thompson getting quite old at the moment, but still pretty good. If I would put my money somewhere, it would be on Michel Pereira, which is at the moment up and coming. A really nice record he has in the last fights he did. Younger, really powerful, a lot of KO power. Let's see if he can match the footwork from Stephen Thompson. Number 4, that would be Jan Blachowicz against Pereira. Another Pereira, but the one from middleweight division who just came to the light heavyweight division. Again, really exciting fights. Blachowicz, legendary Polish power, as he called himself. He is powerful, well-rounded. He does that for a long time. But he's almost 40 years old. Alex Pereira is coming up. He's coming from pretty exciting fights. He has a lot of power. He's definitely has the power to knock out Jan Blachowicz, in my opinion. And I would bet that Alex Pereira is going to win by knockout. Number 3, AJ McKee against Patricky Frère, which would be for Bellator versus Ryzen cross event. So pretty exciting because, first of all, it's a cross event between 2 organizations. That's quite exciting. And AJ McKee and Patricky Pitbull are 2 really exciting fighters. I would suggest that AJ McKee is going to get the win. But Patricky, even with his old age, let's say, for a fighter, is still pretty good. Number 2, it will be a boxing fight. One would say the fight of the century regarding boxing, but yeah, you know, organization, they always say that. This one is pretty good. That's Terence Crawford against Errol Spence Jr. 2 great fighters, both in their primes, both undefeated, both with belts, so it will be champion against champion. Again, if you're not used to watch boxing, I suggest that you watch that fight. Of course, it will be one of the most beautiful fights in boxing. Regarding who I think was going to win, I would say Terence Crawford, even if he's not the betting favorite. I really have a thing for Terence Crawford. I think he's one of the best fighter I ever saw. and I would like him to win against Errol Spence. Number 1, so for me the most exciting fight to watch this weekend would be, of course, Dustin Poirier against Justin Gaethje at the UFC 291. Poirier and Gaethje, they're there for a long time in the lightweight division. That's for the BMF belt, the belt that Dana White chose to create to recompense, let's say, the people's champ. So Poirier and Gaethje, they already fought each other in the past. Not in their prime anymore, I would say, but still pretty good, pretty exciting. They are still good in the rankings of the lightweight division, but this fight will be for sure explosive. I suppose somebody will go to sleep. There will be a knockout in this fight for sure. I would say Gaethje, as Gaethje in these last performances has been pretty spectacular as well. A lot of performance of the night awards from the UFC. I would also say that the competitions he faced in these last fights is higher than the one from Dustin Poirier. So I would say Justin Gaethje for me. But nonetheless, it would be an amazing fight. You guys should definitely watch this fight. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video, that you enjoyed it. If that's the case, please punch the subscription button. You can always put in comment which fights would you like to watch the next weekend, or also what was your top 5 from the last weekend. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok, the description in bio, and you will see me now every week, because I will do this review every week. So I hope you will be there and share the adventure with me.